Hi, are you the provider taking care of my dad?
Hi, yeah, I'm Chelsea, the palliative PA. How can I help?
Yeah, so my dad said he would never want a feeding tube, but I feel like this is a little bit of a different situation. I mean, he just had a stroke and he's having issues swallowing. So, but couldn't this be like the time when this would be temporary, or should we follow his wishes and make sure we never do a feeding tube? Gosh, this is just so hard because he's having a hard time talking, so he really can't tell us himself right now, but I just want to try to make the best decision possible for him.
This is a very valid question. So, a stroke is one of the times where something like an advance directive or knowing your dad's wishes is kind of a gray zone because we know that he would not want a feeding tube in what sounds like an end of life situation or a situation that he was unlikely to recover from. But his stroke symptoms seem to be improving every day. So, he could continue to improve and actually still end up with a good quality of life. So, for now, one of these big barriers is his swallowing. This is a time where we could consider kind of what's called a time limited trial, meaning we put the feeding tube in, we come up with very specific goals and a time frame associated with those goals. So say it's a feeding tube for 3 to 4 weeks. And if dad is not improving like we thought he was going to, then we take the feeding tube out and come up with another plan. However, if dad is improving like we were hoping he would be improving, and maybe he can even tell us by this time what he might want and what he might not want, then that's best case scenario. And this is a situation where sometimes the gray zone comes in and we really have to make a decision based on what we think is best for your dad in a time when he can't really tell us himself. Because sometimes he really does need some nutrition to actually get stronger and better from his stroke. But there are other times that even when we give nutrition, he's not going to improve. And there's no way of knowing that immediately. We have no crystal ball to know that right now.
Okay, I mean that makes sense to me. So I say let's give it a trial. If he's able to talk to us eventually and says take this thing out, then we'll get rid of it, but I think it's worth a try.